Hey guys, my name is Emily and this is All of the Movies. And here on this channel we talk about, well, all of the movies. And most recently we've been doing full discussions, so like 30 to 40 minute podcast length discussions about some movies. And our next movie is Shawshank Redemption, which we will be getting to. But last Sunday was the Oscars. So we kind of have to talk about the Oscars, right? It's a big award for the movies, and honestly, I don't watch them every year, but you know who does? Erin. So she'll be uploading an Oscar full review, hopefully on Friday, so look forward to that. Alright, so for this video, you've already seen the title, and my shirt, of course, and you're probably wondering, what the heck is she going to be talking about? Well, there's tons of conspiracy theories around the whole Academy Awards already, so I'm not going to delve into that. But the one thing that I found very, very ironic about this season of the Oscars is one particular category and who won that category. So if you don't already know, there is a category called visual effects. And this year, the movie about the moon landing, the first man on the moon, that movie, First Man, that movie won for visual effects. Now you're probably asking, why is that so ironic, Emily? I'll tell you. And you probably should already know this if you know anything about any conspiracy theories, is the moon landing. There are so many moon landing conspiracies that it's a rabbit hole to get down into. But I'm going to run through some of the facts or proofs that these conspiracies have. But first, a little background. We landed on the moon in 1969, and it was in 1961 when our president, JFK, said that by the end of the decade we will put our first man on the moon. And then, of course, the Russians and the whole Cold War kind of US versus Russia, that space race. One movie that I watched in math class in high school was October Sky with Jake Gyllenhaal, and it's all about kind of, you know, that race and the importance of technology and putting a man on the moon. The Russians had already put the first man in space and having a satellite and all of that. So we had to put a man on the moon, and JFK wanted it before the end of the decade, which was the 60s. And so 1969 we did. Or did we? So that's the history on it. And here are some of the proofs that we didn't actually do it. So based on the history, the first one is we didn't have the technology, and the only reason why we did it was because we had to. JFK wanted it. He was assassinated. We had to honor his memory and go to the moon before the decade was up, which is 1969. So there's kind of like, I guess, the motive for it. So some of the proofs is that the flag was waving. How can a flag wave if there's no air in space? There was no crater underneath the booster rocket, because when you land, you have to have a rocket to slow your descent and make sure you don't crash into the moon. So there was no crater underneath. That's one of the proofs. Also, people don't believe that we can make it through the Van Allen belt, which is a radiation and magnetic force around the Earth. That's one of the proofs that we still can't get through the Van Allen belt, which means we can't get to the moon. And then there's two photos, one from the Apollo 11 mission and one from the Apollo 15 mission, that are supposed to be from different areas on the moon, but they look exactly the same, kind of like a studio. And then, of course, the shadows. So there's two rocks and like well, I'll just throw up a photo, but there's two rocks and the lander or some sort of thing just sitting there, and the shadows are going in kind of different directions. That one I can debunk right here, because yes, if there is one light source, how it radiates, But if there's, let's say, a light source here, and there's an object here and an object here, the light is hitting this one to create a shadow going this way, and the light is hitting this one to create a shadow going that way. So if you have like a camera right here, the shadows are going to look like they're going in different directions. Like it's just kind of common sense. So that one, when I saw it, I was like, yeah, no. But my favorite conspiracy theory out of the whole moon landing conspiracy theory is that Stanley Kubrick, who did 2001: A Space Odyssey, who did The Shining, that he produced the moon landing in his studio. That the government came to him and said, let's do this. And he did. And some of my favorite proofs that he did it is that in The Shining there are some clues that he left behind because he couldn't talk about it. So in the movie The Shining, Danny, the little boy, is playing on the carpet, and the pentagon looking pattern actually kind of looks like a NASA launching pad. And then there's a ball rolled to him. He stands up and he's in a sweater that has Apollo 11 on it. So of course, I believe that we've been to the moon and did all of that, okay? I just really love conspiracy theories and seeing the proofs for them. There's a new documentary on Netflix that I'm going to be watching, and it's Behind the Curve. It's about the flat earthers, and I just find this stuff really fascinating. I don't know if it's been said on the channel, but I am a huge X-File. So, I own the entire collection on Blu-ray, and I've seen every single episode at least twice, if not more. The movies, it was my childhood, and it is my life now. I love that sort of stuff. Not that I believe in it, I just find it very fascinating, and it makes for great entertainment. So the fact that on its 50th anniversary of Apollo 11, because it was done in 1969, and this year is 2019, so it's been 50 years, and we get a movie that wins visual effects. It's just kind of ironic to me, because a lot of people believe that the moon landing was just visual effects or production or, that sort of thing. So I just find it very ironic, and I thought I would share, because it not only has to do with movies and the Oscars, it has to do with the director being in a conspiracy theory about the moon landing. That's pretty fascinating. So yeah, this has to do with all of the movies. So I thought you would enjoy this little tidbit about the Oscars. Again, I don't really watch them each year. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but Erin definitely does. So she is the one to tweet at, she is the one to Instagram message about any Oscar things that you might want to know. And like I said, she'll be uploading a Oscar-related video this week as well, I believe on Friday. And then next week, we will be getting that Shawshank Redemption video up for you guys. It's going to be a full-length discussion about that movie. Both me and Erin had never seen it, so it is a kind of first impressions for us both on that full movie review. So you guys can check us out, of course, on Instagram and on Twitter, and here on YouTube. Comment down below, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and we will see you in our next video. Bye.